Hello, we are back again. This is question number 4 under our revisions over the test that I gave yesterday. So let us see how we are going to answer this particular question. To start with, the first question, I think you are able to see, given that A is equal to that, B is equal to that particular matrix, find the first question. We are told to find the value of P if determinant of B, this is the short way of writing determinant of B is 14. So the determinant of this B is 14. So we are told to find the value of P if the determinant of B is 14. So you know that this is the what? This one that is there is the major diagonal. And this one that is like this, that is the minor diagonal. So what you're going to do, you multiply numbers on the major diagonal. 2P times negative 2, you do that. Minus, you do this. You've got what? 3 times 0. You equate to the determinant. Determinant is what? 14. This is what we get to do. Where you are going to say this one, you are going to get what? You are going to get negative 4p minus, this is just a 0, so minus 0, which is equal to what? Equal to 14. This is what you are going to get. So here what you are going to do, this is just the same as negative 14p. Negative 4p is equals to 14 like this. Over negative 4 over negative 4. This and that will cancel. You are going to have p is equal to 2 there, it is 7. 2 there, it is 2. So negative goes on top. 7 over 2. That is the value for what? P. So that is the value for P, 7 over 2. This is what you are supposed to do. So meaning that the matrix itself, B is equal to, so the matrix itself is what? You've got there 2P. P, you know that it is negative 7 over what? Over 2. You know that this and that will be cancelled. So that's the same as you've got what? Negative 7 there. Here you've got 3, you've got 0 and negative 2. This is what we are having. So now we want to answer this particular question, telling us to say find the inverse of B. So for us to find the inverse of B, what we are supposed to do, we know that inverse B inverse is equal to 1 over the determinant. What is determinant? Determinant is 14. I do this, then I say this is the major diagonal. What happens to the major diagonal? Numbers are going to swap. Negative 2 goes on top, negative 7 comes down. Then in the minor diagonal, signs are going to change. This is a 0, 0 is just a 0, can't say negative 0. Then this one that is here is positive, becomes a negative. So becomes negative what? Negative 3. So this is what you get to do. So meaning that if you want, you can end here. But I don't advise students to be ending here. I want you to further simplify this. You find an answer in its simplified version. So what you are supposed to do now is where you start multiplying this one with everything in the bracket there. So what you are going to do is that you start multiplying. You say B inverse is now equal to, so B inverse is equal to what? B inverse is equal to 1 times negative 2. You are going to get negative 2 over 14. 1 times 0, you get 0 over 14. 14 will just be following because that's the denominator. 1 times negative 3, it is negative 3 over 14. Then you've got 1 times negative 7, it's negative 7 over what? 14. You do this, whereby you are now going to have an answer that will be like this. 2 there, 1. 2 there, 7. So it is negative 1 over what? 7. 0 divide 14, it is 0. There, you can't find a number that can go in those. You just write it like that. 7 there, 1. 7 there, 2. So 1 over 2. Negative 1 over 2. So meaning that this is the what? This is the inverse of B. This is what you are supposed to do. So for the inverse of B, this is what you are supposed to do. This is the inverse of what? The inverse of matrix B. This is what you are supposed to do. So I guess you are able to follow through this. You are able to get and understand. We move now to our last question. So just move to our last question. So our last question is this one, where we are told that we multiply the inverse of A times that. So the first thing we need to do, we find the inverse of matrix A. So that is 3, 2, 7, 5. We find the determinant first. How do we find the determinant? You say, okay, determinant of this one, which is A. So determinant is equal to what? Major diagonal 3 times 5 minus 2 times 7. So meaning that this is 15 minus 14. So what is the answer there? The answer is 1. So how then do we find the inverse? How can we find the inverse? So the way we get to find the inverse, I will just say A inverse is equal to, it is 1 over the determinant, which is also 1. I do this. I've got a matrix here. I've told you what happens to the major diagonal signs. Now positions will swap. 5 on top, 3 down. What happens to the minor diagonal? Signs are going to change. That is positive 2 becomes negative 2. This one also becomes negative 7. So this is just the same as what? Since it's 1 over 1, so we are going to have 5, negative 2, negative 7, and 3. So meaning that this is the what? This is the inverse. So this is the inverse of A. I'm going to get this one now and multiply it with that one. This is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say 5, negative 2, negative 7, 3. Then I multiply this with this one. So that is negative 2 and a 1 there. This is what I'm doing now. So I multiply these two. So what am I going to do? I say, okay, row by column. This one that is here, this is a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 2. This is a 2 by 1. Since these are the same, so the answer that I'm going to get is 2 by that one comes here. So this is the answer that I'm going to have, which is a 2 by 1. So an answer will look like that one that is there. It will have the same order. So I continue and say, so I will now multiply 5 times 2, negative 2, that is negative 10, plus negative 7 times 1, that is negative 7. So since that is a positive, I say negative 7 there. I'm done on top. I go down, negative 2 times negative 2, that is 4, plus 3 times 1, that is 3. So meaning that the answer that I'm getting is what? Negative 17 on top, down I'm getting a 7. So this is the what? This is the answer that I get. This is what you are supposed to do. These are procedures you need to get and understand. So now, for those of you that could like to join us, this is Harrisonite Learning Academy, where we do offer tuitions in the following subjects. So you can WhatsApp me on this number. These are all level lessons. So are you a GCE candidate or an internal candidate that is facing challenges in the named subjects, which are mathematics? Maybe you want English, science. So when I say science, I mean physics and chemistry. We also do have biology lessons. So you can enroll under these following subjects. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and share this particular video.